Good evening. You're now with me, Lorenzo Isaac, for TVS Nightline. We begin with this story. Premier Sarawak Datuk Petinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg announced that PETROS has begun its first oil production at the Adong Kecil West field near Marudi with an initial capacity of 800 barrels per day. He says the output amounts to about 24,000 barrels a month and marks Sarawak's first onshore oil production in more than 50 years, opening a new chapter for the state's upstream energy industry development.
PETROS, our very own oil and gas company, earlier this week had begun first oil production of 800 barrels per day at the Adong Kecil West field near Marudi. With this new and historic production, that is equivalent to 24,000 barrels per month, after 50 years since the last onshore production, Sarawak now is on the right track to go downstream, particularly in the production of ammonia and blue hydrogen.
Speaking at the Sarawak Day 2026 rally at Dataran Tuntuan Kubujang in Cebu earlier tonight, he says the success proves the capability of Sarawakians in engineering and the management of the oil and gas industry, while strengthening the state's position as a major player in the national energy sector.
This achievement speaks well of the engineering capability of Sarawakians, thus proving that Sarawak is well equipped to be a strong player in the oil and gas industry, including derivatives from methane gas.
He notes that the achievement aligns with the Sarawak government's policy, emphasizing comprehensive natural resource development.
Meanwhile, Abang Johari is calling on the younger generation to master the Malaysia Agreement 1963 to safeguard the state's future rights. He says that understanding MA63's core history and principles isn't just vital for local Sarawakians, but for every single Malaysian.
Otherwise, you cannot fight if you do not know. Dan kita mesti every sentence you must analyze. Ada hidden meaning. Khususnya kepada sidak peguam-peguam tu. Sidaknya kata A, keluar B ke lah. Kita mesti tanya bukan B nya A. Jadi maknanya mesti kita faham dengan apa termaktub di dalam Malaysian Agreement. Sebab itu saya unjurkan kepada Universiti Melaya dan Unimas yang sekarang menubuhkan Faculty of Law, they must study also Malaysian Agreement in their study of law. Supaya sidaknya tahu, Semenanjung pun mesti tahu, kerana kadang-kadang sidak sini cik tahu yo. Tapi ya, susah kita nak berondeng.
On to the next update from Cebu. We have our journalist on the ground, Regina Lee. What do you have for us?
All right, thank you, Lorenzo. Yes, our Premier Datuk Petinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg made two big announcements tonight. One related to PETROS, which you have reported already. The other one is on AIRBORNEO. As we know by now, with AIRBORNEO, Sarawak is now tapping into a new industry that it could only dream of 10 to 20 years ago. But today, not only we have a better accessibility to rural areas with, but new routes that creates possibilities beyond just travel, tourism and hospitality. Sarawak is now connected to the world powered by its own airline. And yes, just now, Abang Johari, our Premier, has officially announced the launching of AIRBORNEO's new route to Singapore to commemorate Sarawak Day. But what we did not expect was another new route to Jakarta. slated to launch within 2 months, and this will establish a better connectivity with our neighbors. Though he did mention this previously on 20th July during AIRBORNEO's inaugural flight to Kuala Lumpur, however, no timeline was stated, and this, of course, came as a pleasant surprise to Sarawakians. Of course, in his speech, the Premier detailed various achievements under his leadership, and those will be on tvsarawak.my. Originally from Cebu for TVS, and happy Sarawak Day!
Thank you, Regina. On to the next story. Halal certification is evolving beyond religious obligations to become a global benchmark for quality, safety, and product assurance trusted by both Muslim and non-Muslim consumers. Malaysia External Trade Development Corporation MATRADE board member Datuk Muhammad Medan Abdullah said perceptions are shifting as consumers now view the certification as a symbol of trust, spanning the entire production chain.
Actually, there is only one small part of the much bigger picture about what halals mean. While many may see halal certification as just a label, okay, on packaging, a sign of religious approval maybe because endorsed by the religious authority, the halal certificate of today has evolved into a globally trusted benchmark for cleanliness, safety, and quality. It's a modern terms, but that is what we're trying to draw light. Halal is the Toyiban concept, is concept of wholesomeness and overall excellence. It's like almost you modernize the term so that it can be easily understood by modern customers, modern context.
Speaking at the Borneo International Halal Showcase on Tuesday, he noted that every halal product must meet consistent standards from raw material sourcing to final manufacturing and handling. He emphasized that MATRADE is actively empowering local small and medium enterprises to penetrate international markets through exporter development initiatives, including capacity building workshops and export readiness assessments.
And what it is basically serves as the National Trade Promotion Agency under the Ministry of Investment, Trade and Industry, MITI. Its core mission is to position Malaysia as a globally competitive trading nation by driving export growth and expanding the international footprint of local enterprises.
He added that the agency offers financial assistance through the Market Development Grant to reduce costs for local firms exploring new markets. MATRADE also organizes major international trade programs, including the Malaysia International Halal Showcase, ranked among the world's largest platforms for promoting halal products and services. Police have discovered new tactics used by international drug syndicates to smuggle illegal drugs in and out of the country. These include making last-minute flight bookings for drug mules and scheduling flights during peak hours at KLIA to avoid detection. Bukit Aman and CID Director Dato' Hussein Omar Khan says these syndicates also lure victims with fake job offers, free holiday packages, and lucrative financial rewards before persuading them to carry items without knowing they contain drugs. Between April last year and this year, authorities have arrested 50 individuals of various nationalities, including 19 Malaysians. Hussein adds the terminal remains a primary route used by syndicates to smuggle drugs while providing international networks. Ports and land border checkpoints are also used for different smuggling tactics. Further breakdown of suspects includes 5 Taiwanese, 8 Britons, 3 Maldivians, 4 Singaporeans, 4 Indonesians, 3 French nationals, and 1 each from Hong Kong, Thailand, Slovakia, and Ireland. In a related development, Hussein says 180 Malaysians were arrested overseas for suspected involvement as drug mules between 2024 and April this year, comprising 84 in 2024, 66 in 2025, and another 30 up to April this year. Toll figures show a declining trend. It remains a concern as Malaysians continue to fall victim to overseas drug mule syndicates. Among the countries Malaysians have been arrested are Thailand, Singapore, Indonesia, Hong Kong, South Korea, and Taiwan. Most are believed to have been deceived by job offers or promises of easy financial rewards without realizing the risks and severe legal consequences in those countries. A moderate earthquake with a magnitude of 5.7 struck northern Sumatra at 12:18 p.m. today, with tremors felt in several areas along the west coast of Peninsular Malaysia. The Malaysian Meteorological Department says the quake was centered at 4.2 degrees north and 97.6 degrees east at a depth of 10 kilometers. The epicenter of the quake was about 55 kilometers southwest of Langsai, Indonesia. At about 12:30 p.m., the Fire and Rescue Department of Malaysia (JPPM) received reports of tremors felt at buildings in Kajang and Subang Jaya. Selangor JPPM Assistant Director of Operations Ashul Rizal Asbah says teams that were sent to the locations confirmed that the buildings were safe for occupation after thorough inspections found no cracks. The Kuala Lumpur JPPM also received an emergency call regarding tremors at Menara B2 Majuling, Bandar Tasik Selatan, and deployed a team to the scene. Upon arrival, the team found that almost all occupants had evacuated the building and gathered at the safe area as a precaution after feeling tremors lasting about 15 seconds. After a thorough inspection, GBPM confirmed the building is in good condition and safe for occupation. New York Mayor Zohran Mamdani has in the past week been reportedly mulling the possibility of arresting Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu if he comes to New York City in September. However, yesterday, Mamdani said his office does not have the authority to carry out the International Criminal Court's arrest warrant for Netanyahu, but called on U.S. federal officials to step in.
Benjamin Netanyahu is a war criminal, the architect of a horrific genocide against the Palestinian people. He is responsible for the killing of more than 73,000 people, for the maiming of tens of thousands of children, as those who survive undergo amputation without anesthesia. Anyone with their eyes, with their heart, with their conscience should recognize the devastation he has wrought and understand that he belongs before a court of law. As I've said, I agree with the ICC that Benjamin Netanyahu should be arrested and tried for his crimes, as I do for anyone else charged by the ICC. My administration has reviewed every avenue available under applicable law to determine whether New York City could execute the International Criminal Court's arrest warrant if Benjamin Netanyahu came here. It is clear that we do not have the independent legal authority to enforce this warrant. The federal government, however, does, and I call on them to join the ICC and execute this warrant. And I want to be equally clear. Benjamin Netanyahu is not welcome in New York City, nor is any other war criminal at large.
The Hague-based International Criminal Court (ICC) said in 2024 that it had a reasonable grounds to believe Netanyahu was responsible for war crimes and crimes against humanity related to Israel's genocide in Gaza. U.S. President Donald Trump on Monday vowed the Israeli Prime Minister will not face arrest if he attended September's UN General Assembly summit in New York. Netanyahu's office has dismissed Mamdani's stance and said the ICC is a kangaroo court. Those were the updates on TVS Nightline. I'm Lorenzo Isaac. Thank you for watching and happy Sarawak Day.